Hey guys, it's Gus, and Module 28 is right around the corner, 8 days from the making of this video on April 23rd. And historically, with new modules, you can buy the campaign buyout in the Zen Market to unlock the dungeon day one. And I have Zen saved up, so I plan on doing that. Now, the thing is, this dungeon is not been released on preview, so we don't know what we're going into. We're going in blind. So we have to make a build no, based off the unknown. And this is my sixth build I've made, and I'm the most pleased with. Obviously, after we go in, stuff may change, but this is what I plan on going in with. I'm a Gith. The reason I chose Gith is it gives 5% combat advantage, and it gives +2 to two attributes I really like, strength and dexterity. I'm going to be using the Abyss Conqueror's Healing Guard, which is obtained from the first and second boss and Master Demon Web Pits. It gives up to 10% crit strike. And this is the first time I've been using this. This is the Conqueror's Mauler's Plate, and this gives up to 18% crit severity. I've never been able to make it fit in a build without making wasting stats before. I'm going to be using the healing mitts that are tamed from the first boss as well in Master Moon Dancer. And these give 3% forte and 3% crit strike when your stamina is over 75%. We're also going in with the Solarian weapons, which are obtained from Master Defense of the Moon Dancer. Everybody in the group has MC weapons, so our plan is to go in with Solarian weapons. And if it's hitting too hard and we're dying too much, we're going to swap back to MC weapons. I'm using the Star High boots, which give 5% damage in wild space. Every class has different gears. Some classes have some gears I really wish we had as a ranger, but they don't. So your class may not have these boots. As a ranger, we have them. All four of these gears are using the Power Armor Reinforcement Kit for 880 power each. I'm probably going to be the one on the Demogorgon artifact because I'm probably the only one who needs the Forte. The three artifacts I have slotted in secondary are Crystal Soulflight, Merilith Mask, and Marco's Mystic Marker, but I could swap those around as needed, especially if I'm not on the demo. I was gonna go with the Demogorgon artifact neck and belt for the 5% damage, but I decided last minute to go with the MC set. Now, as a ranger, you want to probably go Shroomwood because they give 9 strength and 3 dexterity combined, and those 9 strength is a lot. That's a multiplicative damage increase. Um, what this set bonus does is every encounter you do gives you 2.5% accuracies, max stacks of 3. So you're going to get 7.5% accuracy with these. And as a ranger, you're always using encounters, so the uptime is very high. You're also going to get 15% recharge speed, 5% per stack. So that's a lot. Now, this is a last minute adjustment that you might be scratching your head over. So typically, I want to go with the set bonus, the sapphire, and then whatever ring you want to use from Demon Web, because when you have both of them, the set gives you 2.5% outgoing damage. So what I can do is I can use the encounter ring and then at will ring. And technically, the at will ring is going to give probably a little bit more damage because that will ring would give me 2.5% outgoing damage in wild space and 8% to my at wills. But I'm building around the artifact call because that's probably gonna be the make or break moment of these dungeons for us since we're learning it. And when we do our artifact calls where over half our damage is done, we don't use any at wills as a ranger. So I'm going for the artifact call build, and I'm using the 3.5% damage ring that's obtained from Master Defense of the Moon Dancer. I'm also using the 5% encounter ring, which is obtained from the chest at the end of Master Demon Web Pits. The Shroomwood sash is also the MC for the neck and belt. What's cool about these as well is they don't need an artifact for the set bonus. I'm still using the really old crusty Crotus shirt of the Dragon Cult. It's like 500 AD in the auction house. It's obtained from the zone map from killing the named enemies in Dragonbone Vale. It gives 5% combat advantage. There's nothing that comes close to that right now, unless you get the shirt that can give 5%, 4% outgoing damage. But I need that combat advantage, so I'm gonna take it even with the reduced item level. I'm still using the Hatred Pants, which are obtained from, I believe it's Narbondolin Heroic Encounters. I don't, might it be Menzo Branson, but I think it's Narbondolin. All the four gears here are using the Combat Advantage Armor Reinforcement Kit. Consumables, we're using Squash Soup, Flask of Potency +1, Ratatouille, Sunlord's Gift Elixir. Note that I'm not using anything. I could, but I'm not. I'm not using the Invocation Blessing. The reason being, if you build around that and you die, which you're going to probably most likely do a lot, your first time in this dungeon, is the invocation goes away every time you die. And in combat on the bosses, you don't really have time to pop them again. Same goes with the Scroll of Fate. There is a way to improve this build, which I'll do once we start getting the hang of it and we're not dying so much, where I can use the Scroll of Fate as well as the Invocation Blessing, and then replace Mender's Covenant with Warlord's Motivation for an extra 12% outgoing damage for your companions. But I'm not worrying about that right now. It's a little bit too much TMI. Usually I put all my points in Strength and Dexterity. But with the chess piece, I actually had an abundance of dexterity. And I didn't have any ratings to actually move around. So I put all my points into strength and charisma, which is very new to me. Charisma is pretty good. It gives you forte and recharge speed. I do like the movement speed more from dexterity, but we are getting 3% movement speed bonus from our bonus enchantment, and slamming weapons do give a 10% movement speed bonus. So movement speed probably won't be too much of a loss. Um, Enchantments. You're gonna notice something weird here. I'm using double stat offensive enchantments. I'm gonna go with the ruby for power and accuracy. I'm gonna go with the diamond for combat advantage and crit severity, and I'm gonna go with two onyx for combat advantage and crit severity as well. So all the the diamond and the onyx give the same thing, combat advantage and crit severity. I just happen to have one diamond and two onyx, so that's why I had those equipped, and they both work out. Now these defensive enchants are going to work out a little bit differently when I run the dungeon. And not because I give a shit what we have in defensive. Who knows? Maybe this dungeon will require defensive uh, radiance, but I'm going to assume not. The reason these are going to change is I run a lot of content with different builds, and you can't use the same enchantments for every single build. So I want to have enchantments I can move around. So I'm not going to upgrade this single slot enchantments, knowing I'm not going to use this single slot. Uh, I'm gonna only upgrade. I'm gonna upgrade 8 double slotted enchantments for next mod of various different ones. That way I can play around with different builds. The reason I'm using double stat offensive enchantments is when you have four of them, it's 1,080 extra ratings. And I know a lot of people say they have too many ratings or whatever. The thing is I'm not wasting one single rating in this build. I need them all. If you notice, I'm not uh, over in any, and I won't be over in any. Actually, I'm going to be slightly over on one of them because of the collar upgrades. But I need those. I need those 1,080 offensive ratings for this build. Um, Powers, nothing's changed. I'm still going split shot, just in case there's more than one enemy on the boss, and aim shot. Still hindering strike, constricting arrow, Longstrider shot. I'm okay with commanding shot and three-man content. The group's got to be really good. If I'm the main heavy hitter, I'm buffing myself, and I'm losing damage by doing it. So I don't really like using it, and it has a long casting time. So who knows if we're going to be able to even have time to cast a new boss in the new dungeon. But if I can use it, I will, because the group I'm running with, I've put together over the last 5 weeks. Thank you all for joining. Is the really heavy hitters. So I wouldn't mind buffing them at all. But for right now, I'm going to stick with Longstriders. Still going to go with Disruptive and Slashers. And I'm going to be going Seeker's Vengeance. And instead of Crushing Roots, I'm going to go Aspect to the Pack. The reason being is I can use I'm using all five of this combat advantage. And all the players on the team are going to build around it, so they're going to make stronger builds as well. So if you and two other DPS are getting a combined 15% ratings or stats, I'm sorry, 15% stats, that's going to far exceed the damage Crush and Roots is going to do. The feats haven't changed. Rate of Change, Thorn Roots, Predator, Force Bond, and I prefer Slasher's Expertise because during the artifact call that gives a 10% buff to Gushing Wound, Hindering Shot, and Hindering Strike. If it's a long fight and you're using Disruptive Shot often, yeah, build around them more than Disruptive. But I've been using Slashers for quite some time now. Boons, you're going to be using Campaign. Nothing's really changed. You're going to want to put all 4 points, 20 points into power, 20 points into the 4 offensive stats. You're going to want to use Marathon Runner. You're going to want to put 4 points into Forte. Um, a Call of Power, which is a 4% AP gain, and Quick Turnaround, which is 4% recharge. I have 4 Master Boons. I have Deathly Rage, which I might switch for Death's Bulwark for the extra defensive, because I don't really need any of these. But if I die and I don't have time, somebody's out of the way where I'm not getting the full advantage of um of aspect of the pack, I can maybe use that extra 1% CA. Bloodlust is really good. It buffs when you use encounter you can proc this, which is very often on a ranger. And it's a straight 3% damage buff for all your powers, and it gives you AP gain. Life's Lessons is a damage proc that you get, but you have to use at wills. So hunters really don't have a high uptime of this. And then you want to you want to have Blessed Advantage, because this gives you heal over time, and it gives you recharge speed, and it gives you power. So the uptime in this, I don't know what it is, but I have a feeling it's well over 90% uptime, and it's going to give you 6% power. It's very high uptime. So if you notice, I'm capping power because I'm using Awakened Forger's box from Avernus. So if I die, I won't have that because it has a 10-minute cooldown. But that's fine. I'll be just fine with the Blessed Advantage. Power, so we're at Companions. So obviously for the boss, we're either going to be using Tutor, Dritz, Spine Devil, Stalwart Lion, or Scorpion. Um, if it's an easy boss to maintain Sion, we'll probably not use Scorpion. We'll probably use 2 lions. If it's an AoE heavy boss, we might use Minotaur, or we might use Intellect Devourer, or Shadowkari Witch, or Regis. We don't know what we're getting to, but if it's pure single target, we're going to be using 5 companions: Tutor, Dritz, Spine Devil, Lion, Scorpion, and if not Scorpion, then 2 lions. Um, the companions, I'm going to be using Neverwinter Night. I'm going to be using Minsk. I'm going to be using Batiri. I'm going to be using Rat Pup. And I'm going to be using the Golden Cat for the 7.5% combat advantage. If you don't have the Rat Pup, that's fine. You can use the Tomb Spider's Instinct. Tomb Spider, it gives the exact same amount of damage. Also, your group may be dependent on the Raptors. If your group is dependent on the Raptors, then stick with the Raptor. Um, the thing is, without a Raptor, I'm at without a Raptor. Remember, I'm getting 4,500 power from because we're gonna be using Runic Aura, Mystic Aura, and um, 2 pack tactics. So I'm gonna get 4,500 power, which is gonna put me at 85.5, and I'm gonna proc that. So now I'm gonna be at 84.1 plus 45, which will put me at 86 point or 88.6. Uh, but we're also gonna get. Do I have the Flask of Potency on? I don't. So when you use your consumables, you're also gonna get 550 power. So I'm gonna be at 89.5% power. Oh yeah, 500 ratings from the collar upgrades when that comes out. So I'll be at 89.5% power. I'm okay missing 0.5% power when Blessed Advantage isn't up, which it almost never is not up. So yeah, it's fine. I didn't go over the rates too much. We're going to be at 89.5% power. We're going to be capped at 90% accuracy. We're going to be at 90% combat advantage. We're going to be at 90% crit strike, and we're going to be at 90%, or actually, we're going to be at 90.5% crit severity. I didn't want to waste that 0.5%, but I couldn't figure out how to do it. And the reason why the stats go up so much is the lightning enchant gives 7.5% accuracy and 7.5% crit strike now. But when the new mod comes out, that's going to be increased to 10.6 accuracy, 10.6% crit strike. So, for example, I'm going to get 10% crit strike from the helmet, which will be put me at 75.6. I'm going to get 10.1 from the lightning, which will put me at 80, 87 or 86. And we're going to have a paladin in the group. The group bonuses we're using are aspect of the pack, the pally ore that gives 4% crit strike. We're gonna have two people on pack, one on mystic, one on runic. Um, yeah. So the 0.5% power, I'm okay with. Uh, the group's fine with it. Our healer, when they don't have blessed advantage up, is gonna be at 88.9% power. So their heals are gonna be missing 1.1% power. Which is going to be very not often because of blessed advantage. So we're okay with that. If I did put a raptor on, I would be at I'd still be capped at everything, and just be wasting 18.25% power because it would be overcapped. Um, where was I at? I was on companions. Yeah. So the rat pup, why I'm using this or tomb spider is when you use an encounter, you have a 25% chance of getting 225 magnitude, and magnitude is everything in this game. That's what's gonna make the bigby's hand so much stronger than the slab of Vecna, because slab of Vecna is only 400. I'm sorry, only 600 magnitude less, and you get a 15% damage buff. Well, the problem is you need about 6 to 7,000 magnitude depending on your outgoing damage during that 15% damage buff to equate to 600 magnitude. Magnitude is huge in this game. So if I get this to proc twice during artifact call, that's an extra two more at wills during the artifact call. And it can actually proc three times, which is equivalent to my biggest magnitude. Yeah, this is a really good power to use, assuming you cap all your power. What else did I have? Oh yeah, I'm using the three Starbound Grimoire of the Companions. They give combat advantage, crit strike, and forte. That's why I'm using three of them for the forte. You obtain these from the Light of Xeraxis campaign store. And I'm using acute senses. See if I missed anything. Minsk, Neverwinter Night, Batiri, Rat Pup, Golden Cat. Mounts. Okay, we're going to be using pack. I'm going to be on pack tactics. Another DPS will be on pack tactics. Healer will be on runic. Tank will be on mystic. And I'll be using bigby's crushing hand because it is a melee class that uses strength attribute. There's only one mount that gives 3,000 magnitude, and that's bigby's hand. So that's really the only choice, unless you want to go Vecna. But I just couldn't make the Vecna work, the math work out on it. If anybody figures out that the Vecna may be better with that 15% damage buff, we'll go to it. Um, so I'm using one executioners, one menders, two tacticians, and one gladiator. The colors are the same colors I've used since Sharandar. Movement speed, encounter power, crit severity, gold gain, and stamina gain. I'm using for the executioners, I'm using the giant space hamster because it has the preferred slots. You get an extra 100 item level as well as some extra ratings. For the menders, I'm using the ebon riding lizard because it too is the preferred bonus. So you get an extra 100 item level as well as some extra ratings. I'm using the Hand of Neverwinter because I'm sorry. Those are the only two we're using that gives the preferred bonus. There is no preferred bonus for tacticians, and there is no preferred bonus for gladiators guile. If there was, this build would be 300 item level more. I'm only using three different types of insignia: tranquility, precision, and dominance. We're using two tranquility, we're using five precision, and all the rest are dominance. So you're going to see Insignia of Tranquility, Enlightened Insignia of Precision, Dominance, Dominance. Same, Tranquility, Dominance, Dominance, Precision. Again, Precision, Dominance, 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 Precision, Dominance, Dominance, Dominance. Dominance, dominance, precision, dominance. And the reason being is the all these insignias give forte. And forte increases, it doesn't increase your stat or ratings, they increase your stats. So 750, half of that goes to power. On the ranger, quarter of that goes to accuracy, and the other quarter goes to deflect. Big deal. So that's how I have the mount set up. Another note is I am playing Hunter. The Warden is looking pretty decent with these changes. We'll know what the final changes are when the next mod comes out. I feel very comfortable using the Hunter because I've been playing it so long, and the team utility on it with the aspect of the pack. Well, that's on the Warden as well. Um, I'm sticking with the Hunter until I see that the Warden has the same and or more damage potential if it does than the Hunter. So I'm sticking with the Ranger for now. Some people are going to go with the Hunters. Good. Please let me know how it goes. There's some stuff about the Warren I'm really liking, and there's some stuff about the Warren I'm not liking at all. I mean, it's very surprising that they haven't given us update on some of the broken stuff on it. Uh, so we're gonna get 4,000 item level when we upgrade the enchantment. So the item level will be 97,804. The other takeaway is we're gonna go in with Solarium, but if the group is dying and the tank or the DPS or the healer needs more mitigation, we're going to swap from the Solariums and then go to MC weapons. And if we're doing really good, the tank and healer will go MC weapons and the DPS will stay on Solariums for that extra 4% damage. But that's only once the tank and healer get comfortable, of course, while you're learning that it's not about the DPS, it's about the tank. And once the tank figures it out, it's about the healer. And then the DPS come last because you got to keep that tank alive to keep aggro from killing everybody. And that healer's got to figure out the timing to use their powers so they don't run out of divinity. The dungeon is all about the support when you're going in there, and then it's the DPS. Shit, the DPS should run MC and buff the healer and tank, right? Is that what I'm saying? Well, if it's that painful, yeah, we probably would. If you got any questions or comments, please do so below. I'm looking forward to your feedback. Stay classy, Neverwinter. See you soon.